We see you investing a lot of time in cycling. I mean, when did you develop the passion for cycling, and what's the impact of that to your health in a positive manner?
Sure. Unfortunately, in India, we are raised in an environment where parents don't encourage sports. Especially may not be true in the current generation because parents' mindset has changed. But in our generation, parents used to say, play, but not at the expense of studies.
Right.
So as a result of which, a lot of people from my generation have given top priority to education and secondary priority to sports. And as we age, in younger days it is fine. You don't have an exercise, it is fine. Your body is nimble, your body is flexible and stuff like that. But as you age, you tend to build in inflexibilities in your own body, and then at one point of time you will come to know of that, especially when your cholesterol levels are up or when your sugar levels are at the borderline and stuff like that. I've seen this happening with regards to my friends. Then that's when I realized all my life I've been focusing on education. All my life I've been focusing on acquiring qualifications and certifications. I have not done much in sports, and I'm at a stage where physically I need some activities, especially when you lead a sedentary job wherein you tend to spend about 6 to 7 hours continuously at your desk. You are killing yourself. As a result of which, what I did is I have to get into sports, and then I looked at in terms of what I can do. And in my younger days, I used to go to college on cycle, not because of passion, but because of economic considerations. And I was used to cycling longer distances, and I enjoyed that. That remained, and then came a gap of about 20 years. So I wanted to get back to that as a sport. I know how to cycle. I've done long distance cycling, and basically to build in stamina levels and build in endurance, and also to build a positive health, I have taken to cycling. Cycling has helped me not only accomplish this, but it has also helped me build a very positive mind.
How important is internship for a young student in nowadays?
Yeah. It is like asking how important is to learn cooking without cooking.
Okay.
So internships, that's the analogy.
Sure.
So if you have to cook, you have to get your hands dirty. You cannot learn cooking by reading a recipe book.
Right.
You have to take that pan, you have to put oil, you may have to burn your hand in the process. You may end up making a very bad dish, and you learn over a period of time, and then ultimately you achieve perfection. So the analogy is the same with regards to work. You cannot learn work without getting your hands dirty, or without getting yourself immersed in work. And I believe that internship offers that particular avenue for the students to explore work, or if I may use the word, to test drive work and learn in terms of what it requires to become a good employee over a period of time. And internship offers that particular opportunity. And it is also like, internship is like kind of a beta version that we see when before the products are launched on a commercial basis.
Right.
So before you launch yourself on a commercial basis, you explore yourself, you test your own beta version through the internship, learn in terms of what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and try to give yourself an opportunity to upgrade those skills. So internship, according to me, is a very, very important attribute before you launch fully yourself into work.
Would you suggest students who are young employees to change their role and profession every 2-3 years, or continuing and growing in the same organization or in the same role is also equally good? Because a lot of people are confused. What is the right time to change?
Absolutely.
Either a role or an organization.
Absolutely.
From your perspective would help a lot.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of there are different schools of thought. If you look at a generation which is more than 40 years old, you will very rarely come across people who have changed their jobs. They've entered the organization, stayed committed to the organization, and have grown over a period of time.
Right.
Probably for most of them, the first and the last job is in the same company. And over a period of time, that perception has changed. And people used to say, in terms of, someone told me, Behta Ganga Nirmal hai. So it's like, if you're stuck, you're stuck in your own career and stuff like that. So you have to hop, skip and jump, or maybe skip, hop and jump, or whatever is the combination. I don't subscribe to that particular philosophy. What happens is, when it may be relevant maybe in the first 2 years of your work experience, or the first 3 years of work experience, where you're looking at changing roles, either for money or either for better job profile. But over a period of time, if you don't build your skill set in a particular area, and if you're not truthful to your career, if you're not building skill sets in 1 or 2 domains, as you go along, you may have a good ride for about 10 or 12 years, or maybe 15 years. Thereafter, then it becomes extremely difficult. At senior levels, people are hiring you for experience, people are hiring you for reliability, people are not hiring you for the diversity of the roles you had. Diversity is important, assuming you have diversity of roles wherein you have spent a minimum of 3 to 4 years in one role, and not a year or 2 in one particular role. So it in terms of the mantra varies depending upon the exact stage where you are in with regards to your professional journey. But I don't recommend 2 options wherein you stay completely committed to your company, and then that particular thing becomes your first and last job, or an aspect wherein you change your jobs every year. So don't operate in 2 extremes.
What's your take? When should one decide, and how should one decide that one can become an entrepreneur?
Sure. I've been doing a lot of thinking in these terms, because my upcoming talk at ITES is in this particular area. If you look at in terms of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship typically has come in 2 perspectives, either in abundance or in adversity. So what I call as abundance is when people have lot of wealth, they have support mechanism from their families, and even if they fail, the risk of failure is not very high. In that kind of an environment, lot of people have took to entrepreneurship and they have become successful. The other extreme is adversity. In terms of you have nothing else to do, there are millions of such examples in India. Take an auto driver, he has nothing else to do, so he becomes an entrepreneur, invests in an auto, becomes an owner of his own business and drives that particular auto. Take an example of a kirana shop owner, take an example of a shopkeeper. So in these 2 areas, it is very clear in terms of entrepreneurship or a startup as a choice. But the environment that is relevant to several of us is we are neither in abundance nor in adversity. So what do we do? Traditionally in the past, since the startup environment in India was not that conducive, people had taken to jobs as a natural choice. And over a period of time, they have built savings, they have built wealth, and they became an entrepreneur. That kind of an approach is no longer relevant in India. In India today, if you look at, more and more companies are being born digital, and more companies are being born on the strength of IT. And there are a lot of investors who are available. So if you look at in terms of what requires to start up a company, according to me, there are three components: E, I, and C. E is enterprising in nature, I is idea and information technology to convert that idea into reality,
Right.
and C is capital. Now, in olden days, this capital was accessible only to few people who are well networked. But in current day scenario, the capital is freely accessible as long as you are enterprising, as long as you have an idea that can be translated into a reality, and that idea is unique and workable. If you have these two components, trust me, there's enough capital that is available in the marketplace. Today, in addition to the capital, several accelerators have come up wherein you can go share your business plan with an accelerator. They'll give you office space, they'll give you supervision, they'll give you mentors so that you can convert your idea into a reality. You can bootstrap your startup and take it to a level where investment will come formally. So given this environment, I would encourage people not to look at employment as an only opportunity of meeting their livelihood or managing their livelihood.
Right.
They can even start looking at venturing into startups. It is not that difficult to do. 20 years back it was very difficult, but now things have changed.
We learned EIC, and I'll remember it for sure, that you should be enterprising. You should have a strong idea, convert it into an IT form as well to make it scalable.
Absolutely.
And
In terms of idea, you should be able to, if you have an idea that cannot be translated into reality, it is of no use.
Got it.
So the aspect today that transfers that idea into reality, fortunately or unfortunately, is the information technology.
Right.
You take any company that is
Right.
born digital,
Right.
they started with a unique idea,
Yes.
used IT to
Right.
convert that idea into a reality. That's why I said information technology.
And capital is making it easy for them to scale up. And,
Exactly. And earlier capital was available with a bank. You need to have connections, or you need to have access to rich people. But today, all those things are not relevant anymore. You have an idea. There is a medium where you can talk about your idea. There is a medium where you can connect with angel investors. There are people who are available in the marketplace who will take you to the angel investors if you have that idea. So don't get bogged down by the fact that you do not have access to capital. There's plenty of money chasing good ideas. Get a good idea, the money will chase you automatically.
Rajesh, we also read your life motto, help ever, hurt never.
Right.
So, tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, sure. So this is a learning that I had inculcated from Puttaparthi. This is one of the teaching of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, whom I consider as my philosopher, guide, and also a source of inspiration for me. And it is his teaching, help ever, hurt never. What happens is, especially when we are in a situation wherein we are in a problem, we are in a trouble, we say, hey, things would have been easy if I had a mentor, things would have been easy if somebody has helped me. But when we overcome that particular situation, when we overcome that challenge, when we go into a situation of giving rather than receiving, we forget where we came from. And we also forget that at one point of time you wanted that help but you never got. But now you are in a situation wherein you can give but you have forgotten to give. That's why I've used the motto, help ever, hurt never, to remind people that you are in a position to help, please help. And that will help that individual to come up in life and get into a stage where you are currently, and that cycle continues.
So, any message for the young audience, which are primarily school students, college students, or young employees?
Yeah, the only message to all these guys is to identify the purpose in life, then connect that purpose with a passion, follow that passion from the thinking stage to implementation stage. If they are able to do these 3 steps, no matter what they want to accomplish in whatever field or discipline, they'll be able to do that. So this is my message to them.
Great. Your journey personally and professionally has been inspirational, Rajesh. and the way you are investing your time to the younger generation is also giving a lot of message that givers gain. We thank you for your time, and it's been a pleasure to interact with you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Rajesh.